That was a look at Bette Midler in the movie The Rose, which got her an Oscar nomination.
Mm-hmm.
That was a tough role.
That was so much fun. That was not tough at all. That was the first.
It wasn't tough?
No, it was the greatest experience I ever had up until that time. It was fantastic.
Really?
Just thrilling.
You weren't scared at all?
Not even
it was a big part.
It was a part I was born to play.
You were?
Yeah, I was. And I resisted it for a long time because I thought, I don't know. Maybe it's too close to, people kept saying, well, it's Janis, and I kept saying, well, no, it's not Janis, because if I had said it is Janis, then I never could have done it. So I sort of made it up on my own. I sort of made my peace with it, and I sort of I said, I had been on the road, by that time I had been on the road for 12 or 13 years, and I had seen all that happen. I'd seen people rise to the top and then self-destruct, and so I knew the road pretty well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we're seeing so much of that nowadays.
So many. Yeah. It's all, I
that Amy Winehouse.
Brokenhearted over
that was
Amy
terrible.
Winehouse. Brokenhearted.
She seemed to be on the men's also, and then she just.
But I think that it's very interesting. There's certain kinds of drug abuse that you simply cannot. She was a tiny little thing, and her little body just couldn't take it.
Yeah.
She just couldn't. You see these big, strong, strapping guys who go through. Look at Keith. Look at Keith Richards. Did you read his book?
Yes.
Okay. Keith Richards.
But he's a tiny little thing.
Now he's a tiny little thing. Then he was a little bit taller.
Yeah.
I mean, look what he lived through, but he survived it all.
Well, look at Michael Jackson. We're talking about him all the time now with the Conrad Murray trial.
You know what? I can't watch that trial. I can't watch that.
Why not?
Because you know what? He's gone. Nothing's going to bring him back. What is the use? What is the point?
I know.
What's the point?
Well, the point is...
And I must say, Michael Jackson had a say in that, too. Michael Jackson was right in there collaborating with the doctor.
We found out, just today, I think, or yesterday, that he was asking for propofol from a nurse. So he wanted to sleep. The poor guy couldn't sleep.
I know exactly how he feels. I'm in menopause. I haven't slept in years. Oh my God! I can't talk about it.
You never sleep again. Once you hit 50, you do not sleep the night.
And I have a whole thing that I do. I have a thing. I have my ritual. I was in Morocco on my birthday last year, and I was desperate to sleep. So I said to the people who were at the hotel, "What do you do to sleep?" And they said, "Lemon verbena tea."
Oh.
So we got lemon verbena tea. You get it at Kalustian on 27th Street, big packet. You brew it, and that will put you to sleep. It won't keep you asleep for more than 4 hours, but it will put you to sleep.
I see.
I couldn't even get to sleep.
Yeah.
So now at least I can.
I think it's a terrible thing when you can't fall asleep. And he was in terrible. It was a psychic pain.
I know.
Okay, now speaking of your career, over the past 40 years, you have saved all of these wonderful costumes, shoes, and jewelry, which you have brought. Now, are you a hoarder?
I'm embarrassed to say it. I don't like to call myself that, but I think I must have been.
You have hoarder tendencies.
My mother was a hoarder.
Well, you're a collector.
They weren't well, I don't want to diss my parents because I love my parents, but they did tend not to give things away. And my mother my mother was one of the first Salvation Army people. She went to the Salvation Army when I was in the 7th grade, and she never returned. I mean, I wore, everything I wore was from the Salvation Army.
Really?
Yeah. Remember Barbara Streisand's song, "Oh, look, there goes my old fur coat"? That was my life. And that's how I was brought up, and I was terribly mortified about it. But as it turns out, in my personal life, I have nothing in my house. I have nothing. I don't collect. But my costumes, I'm so attached to them.
They're worth it. Let's just look at what you brought in. Tell me about the mermaid costume.
Well, I've been doing this character since the early 80s. She's a kind of a foul-mouthed disco. She's a disco queen. She only sings disco music. She rides around in a wheelchair because obviously she's a fish out of water.
That's right.
She can't walk.
Right.
And her whole thing is that she is in show business and is going to stay in show business, and she has some friends that she does this act with. And it's always a disco act, and it's always utterly ridiculous.
Right.
And we always do patterns on the floor.
Right.
And sometimes we play musical instruments. And that's from my last show, Showgirl Must Go On in Las Vegas.
I saw it.
And that is probably the last time I will ever do that.
Doesn't Lady Gaga have a
She did have a little
like this?
She tried, and I gave her hell.
You did?
And she was very, contrite, and I was only teasing, really.
No, was it homage? Wasn't it homage?
I felt it was. I was actually thrilled. I mean, what have they done? I was thrilled. I was thrilled because she's a really sweet girl. And
she is a nice
very,
girl.
very talented.
She's a nice Italian girl.
She is.
She is.
What can
so
you
do
say?
you want her to bid on that?
I wish. I've been going around town saying that if she wants the whole act, I can give her the chorus kids. I could give her the wheelchair. She can buy the chorus kids.
Yeah.
She can buy the wheelchairs, and she can buy the actual music.
I think
that's what she wants.
I think they would sell these more readily if they were in a 26 petite.
Well, I do
I
like
can't
her.
believe you were such a skinny bitch in those days.
I was so tiny.
You were tiny.
In fact, I pulled a dress from the auction because I couldn't believe how small I was when I wore it.
Yes.
I must have weighed 90 pounds.
I think that
I have to have this. I can't believe I was ever this thin.
But you're always thin to me, except one period you had where you buffed up a little bit.
Well, not buffed up.
No, but you went on
chubbed up.
All right, you chubbed up, and you were on the Johnny Carson show. I remember this.
I was so
And you
chubbed.
sang a song called "Fat as I Am."
Fat as I am.
I love it.
Who wants to see a diva fat as I am?
Okay. We'll
Yes.
be right back with a little more with Bette Midler. Okay.
Just a little more.
Yeah, I'm sorry to say.